Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to do a nice stretch out class, especially good if you're feeling aches and pains. And obviously we're still in the sort of lockdown situation in late November. So consequently, we're still not getting out and about as much as we would normally do. So it does affect our bodies. So we're going to really try and get into little areas and just get the stretch and release so that our bodies can feel good at least. So we're going to need some lift. So I've got a bolster here, which is fantastic if you're lucky enough to have one at home, or you can use yoga blocks. The flat yoga blocks are better, or you can use like a wobble cushion, but it would need to be on top of another cushion. Okay, and then later on we might do some weight work, so just have your weights handy, and you'll also need a yoga belt. Okay, so let's just start off from sitting, since that's where we are, and just cross your legs. If you find it uncomfortable to sit on the floor, you can sit up on a low chair, but just get some kind of cross going in the legs and let the knees open to the side. We're going to think about our spine. So we want to stack our spine, one vertebrae on top of the other. And then we're just going to take an inhalation and let the shoulders come up towards the ears. And then exhale down. Let the shoulders up to the ears, exhale down. Nice long slow breath in and long slow breath out. Lovely. So we're going to now turn that into a rotation. So let's see if you can get the shoulders forward, up, back and down. Forward, up, back and down. Lovely. And then we'll change that direction. So up, forward, down and back. Lovely. And then release. Okay, now getting the shoulders rolling back and down, getting that line through the spine. Just check that you're not pushing forward with your ribs, so just allow that back of the waist to settle back and your sit bones to descend. Take the right arm up. Now let it go out at the side first. We're just going to stretch. So I'm using my left arm, but in fact it's a mirror to what you're probably seeing. And then we can just slightly leaning over to the right. Just keep stretching that arm up, fingers straight, palm facing towards your right, and then you keep going. Look, see that lovely straight line from fingertip down to a hip. So as soon as you find that you're kind of bending, just come back up a little bit. You want to get a lovely long line. Stretch, 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 and then you can rotate, just look underneath the armpit. Breathing. That's nice, Kirsten, lovely. And release. Okay, so getting our center back again, stretching up that left hand. So we're rotating the palm forward. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Don't go too quickly, and then turn your palm to the ceiling. Feel that rotation in the inner arm, and then you can just bring the arm up, keep stretching up to the ceiling. If you find that you're starting to hunch your shoulders and the arm can't straighten, just stop. And you can go to the side from there. If you're able to, you can just bring your inner arm towards your ear. Stretch up to the ceiling, leaning over to the left. Now, fingers up. Let the right hip descend. Breathing, and then you can go more if you can. And we're looking underneath the armpit. Just holding that breath, breathing in through, out through the nose. And inhale to come up. Lovely. Okay. Right. From there, we're going to head to the floor. So we're taking our, well, we do it this way actually. If you have your blocks or bolster ready at the side, we're going to lie onto our back. Tuck the shoulders under. And actually, don't have anything under your head at this point. And then we're going to push up with our feet to lift it or to pop some blocks underneath our hips. So if you're using flat yoga blocks, you probably want to, or a bolster is actually just perfect. Now, just find the best position for you. You want to have the hips supported and the shoulders rolling back and down. So you can push your head into the floor to lift your shoulders and then just tuck them under. Let's see. Walk your feet a little way. And then we're opening the chest, turn the palms to face up to the ceiling. And just take a moment in that position so that you can really feel that you get a chance to open the chest, tuck your shoulders under. Now stretch through the fingers and just stretch the arms away, slide the backs of the hands away. Start to feel a wee stretch through the arms. Now, what's happening to your rib cage? So watch that you're not sticking your ribs up. You want to just allow the rib cage to descend in towards the spine so the back of the ribs are heading towards the floor. Now, once you've got that, the feeling of the back ribs dropping, lift the hands up in the air, palms facing up. And then we're just going to slowly drop the arms down, but keep the awareness of the rib cage descending. And as you do that, you'll notice you have to really activate your core to be able to get these arms down. It's easy to do. If I just stick my ribs out, I can get my hands down. If I keep my ribs connecting to the spine, and then when I start to take my arms down, I have to engage the core. So you may not get your hands all the way to the floor. So we're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Okay. Feel the feet connecting with the ground. Feel that stretch through the arms. Just have them hovering if you need. Breathing, shoulders away from the ears. In through the nose, out through the nose. So imagine that you're doing your Ujjayi breath. So imagine you're breathing in and out through the front of the throat. Just hold for a bit longer. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Now, then if you can elongate through the arms, you might find you can drop them a little bit more while still maintaining the ribs down towards your spine. So let's hold now another 5 breaths. Shoulders away from the ears. Back of the back of the ribs are moving down towards the floor. You should feel a little engagement of the lower abdomen. Lovely. And then release. Okay, so now we're going to just catch our right knee and bring it towards the chest. Keep the shoulders tucked under. And then just let the knee come slightly out to the side, and then you'll be able to push it in a little bit closer, then moving the knee over to the center. So we're squeezing that knee towards the chest, but we're keeping our chest open. This left knee, don't let it flop out to the side. You want to keep that knee pointing up to the ceiling. If you need to move your foot out a bit to the left in order to do that, then that's fine. So we're just rolling that knee towards us and we're breathing. So let's just do this for 6 breaths. Lovely. Right, now bringing your right hand and to the inside of your right foot to see if you can catch your right foot. Now, if that's really not happening, you can just put a belt around your right foot and then reach inside just so that you can catch. And then we're going to just stretch up as much as you can, stretch that right heel up to the ceiling. Keep that left knee. Try not to let the left knee flop out, so just keep a feeling of that left knee rolling in towards the center. And we're breathing in through, out through the nose. So it doesn't matter if your knee's slightly bent, that's fine. If you're using the belt, pull the leg down towards you first, pull the knee down towards your chest, and then from there, working to stretch. So you're going to feel that in the hamstrings. So it might look something like this. That's fine. Just as long as you start to feel that hamstring stretch going on. So just hold for a few more breaths. Keep the shoulders relaxed, chest open. So make sure you feel nice and comfortable on your bolster or blocks. Nice. And then release. Okay, so we'll just let that right leg go back down and get ourselves centered again on the cushion. Keep that shoulders tucked under. And we'll bring up our left knee. Let's just take it out to the side first and then pull it towards us. Lovely. Squeezing the knee towards your chest. Now, just thinking about your right knee for a moment, just let it roll in towards the center so it's not flopping too much out to the side. Squeezing this left knee close towards your chest while keeping your shoulders back and down. And we're just going to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Thinking about the nape of the neck, just let that be long. Pull the knee a bit closer in. Keep the shoulders rolling back and down, pressing the shoulder blades onto the floor. Nice. Okay, and then we're taking that left hand inside the foot and just catch the foot, or we can hook the foot with the belt to catch the belt. But catch on the inside, and then we're just going to bring the knee towards your body and then see if you can stretch. Okay, just breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. So there's a feeling of rolling your shoulders back and down. Okay, and then let's release that left leg, just bring both knees up. So you've got your hips propped up, so when you bring your knees forward, your feet can just dangle. You're not having to use any effort to do that. Okay, and then we're going to take our hands and inside the leg, just see if you can catch your feet. And if that's possible for you, just see if you can open the legs out to the side a little bit. Now, if that's not going to work for you, just pop your belt around your feet and then you can catch your belt instead. So if you're using the belt, if you put the belt on the outside edge of your feet and just make a little loop to the top of the foot, whoops, then you can catch your belt and you get a nice position that you can sustain. And in fact, you can bring your elbows to the inside of your knees and just slightly push the knees apart. So the shoulders are tucking back and down. So if you are just using your hands, that's fine. You can then see if you can straighten your legs a little bit. Stretch through your heels. Nice, and then release. So we're just bringing our legs back. Okay, so let's take that left foot down on the floor. We're going to catch just around the right thigh. And we're going to start to rotate that right thigh. Not the right thigh, the right ankle. So lovely big rotation in the ankle. Just imagine that you're drawing a big circle with your big toe. And you want that circle to be as big as possible. And then changing direction. So again, if your thigh feels quite far away, you can put a belt around your thigh to support your leg while you do your circles. So we're changing directions. Nice. And then release. So placing that leg back, we do the same thing with our left leg. Making our circle. So you can hold around the thigh, or you can use your belt. Or if you're quite happy to have your leg just hanging in the air, you don't need to use anything. Lovely big circles. Change that direction. Nice. And then release. Lovely. Okay, so both feet back on our blocks and just push the back of the head into the floor so your shoulders lift up, and then one shoulder at a time, just tuck them really under so you've got as much openness in the front of the chest as you can. So just find the right position for your feet. You might need to walk them closer or further away. And we're going to just bring the weight through the feet, keeping our feet parallel, just lifting off our bolster or blocks, and open the arms out to the side, palms facing up. Think about bringing the sternum to the chin. So we're not lifting really high, but we're keeping the thighs parallel. We keep the knees pointing up to the ceiling, feet parallel. So we're feeling that in the inner thighs and this little buttock squeeze. Lovely, beautiful. Hold. Now really think about the pelvic floor. We're squeezing the pelvic floor up in towards the base of the spine. Now to come down, just send your tailbone away so you land back onto your blocks. Lovely. Let's just bring the knees forward for a moment. You can cup the hands on the knees. Keep these shoulders tucked under. Beautiful. Breathe. Lovely deep breath in. Breathing, deep breath out, long, slow breath out. See if you can get a feeling of the feet just being really relaxed, standing. And we're going to try that again. So bringing the feet back on the floor. Push through the feet to keep your, don't let your knees go out to the side. So you want to keep your knees slightly feeling of rolling them in so that they stay parallel. Shoulders tucked under, palms up. Just lifting your sternum towards your chin while keeping the ribs, don't let the ribs flare. So from the hips to the beginning of the ribs, try and keep that slightly, don't let it stretch that area. You want to keep that area in the same, at the same distance. So you're doing the work more inner thighs and buttocks. At the same time, if you can, you're just bringing the sternum towards your chin. So let's see if we can hold for one more breath. Okay, and then to come down, lengthening the tailbone and bring the knees up. Lovely. So feeling how, because you're lifted, you can get that slope, which really helps you to tuck your shoulders under. So taking a moment to recover. I'm going to do that a third time. If you feel frisky, you can just go ahead and start your third one now. Otherwise, now we'll place the feet on the floor. Keep the feet parallel. We're pushing through the feet, keeping the knees in the same distance, equidistant, lifting up, avoiding pushing the ribs up. So keep the distance between hip bones and ribs the same. It's almost as if you're trying to tighten, like if you've got a luggage, a suitcase with a buckle on it, and you're just trying to tighten the buckle between the ribs and the hips. And as you do that, it'll make you work on the inner thighs and the pelvic floor more. Pressing through the feet. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. And the sternum, if possible, is coming towards the chin, but not by sticking out. It's kind of the sternum drops down and forward. Shoulders away from the ears. So you're going to feel that in your inner thighs and buttocks. Hold for 2 more breaths. Lovely. And then we're going to send that tailbone away. Lovely. And then just let the knees come up. Cup the knees, or if you want to hug them closer, then that's fine too. If you find that your knees seem to be quite out of reach, then you can use your belt to catch around your knees. So you can hold this position without any strain. So as you breathe in, breathe in through the nose, but think about taking the breath in through the front of the throat. And as you breathe out through the nose, imagining that you're taking that breath out through the front of the throat. Nice. Okay, so now we'll let go if you were using a belt. Just going to bring that right knee towards us, but this time we're going to stretch out the left leg. Okay. Now, just Vic, just be a bit careful with this. So we're going to slowly try
we're going to draw our belly in towards the spine and just see if we can lower that leg, but keep our belly drawing in and up. Lovely. And then we're just going to hold that, pulling tightly the knee towards our chest. Stretch that left leg away and really feel how you're scooping, that whole lower abdomen is scooping in and up. So your tummy's flattening. Hold. Really squeeze tight in the lower abdomen. Keep that leg stretching. Let it float so it's not on the floor. Yep. And bring it back up. Change leg. So we're going to take that left knee. We can take it out to the side a little bit and then squeeze it in. Stretch. Stretch that right leg. Scoop and hollow and really long leg, sending that leg away. Draw your belly in and up. Scoop, 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 scoop. Send that leg really long, really long, really long. So the more you lengthen the leg away, the more it helps you to get your scoop. That's it, Kirsten, lovely. Push the toes away. Make the leg even longer. Now really squeeze that lower abdomen in and up. Breathing. 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 Lovely. And then release. Okay, so we'll take one foot down, then the other, and we're just going to lift up and remove our blocks or bolster. And it's first of all, we just stretch along the floor. So stretch the arms, stretch the legs. Get as long a line as we can. And then as we're stretching, just think about letting the back of the ribs move closer to the floor. And as we do that, you'll notice how your belly draws in and up as you let your back ribs descend. Your arms might need to come off the floor a little bit. Stretching through the arms and feel that pelvic floor drawing in and up. So back ribs descend. So this whole area begins to hollow. Okay, and then extra stretch, right arm, left leg. So you're doing a kind of diagonal stretch through the body. That's a bit more. Exhale, stretch a bit more. Right hand, left leg. You might feel that catching in a hip or a shoulder or underneath the armpit. And then relax the other side. So left arm, right leg, really long stretch. Diagonally across the body. Keep these back ribs down. Keep stretching, stretching a little bit more. You might notice where you feel that. If you feel it you might feel it in the hip or front of the pelvis. You might feel it in the arm, underneath the armpit. Keep stretching a bit more. Diagonal stretch. And then just let it flop. And then we'll do both arms, both legs, stretching. Just imagine somebody's got hold of your wrist, they're pulling your arms, and then someone's got hold of your ankles and they're pulling your ankles. So you're really stretching through your body. Let it relax. Great, okay. Right, from there, we're just going to bring that right knee up and we're going to take it over to the left, and as we do, we're rolling to the right. So just hold the knee wherever it lands, and we're actively keeping your left shoulder down. Just let that right knee go where it will. You can adjust the height of the knee to give you the best kind of stretch. You might want to bring it all the way up. If you bring the knee up, you're going to feel it. You'll feel it more in the upper back. That you have to work a little bit harder in the upper back to get your counter stretch over to the right. Feel your belly drawing in and up. Breathing. So see how much you can bring that knee close to your chest then. How much can you turn your right shoulder to the floor? See if you can make contact now with your thigh and your tummy as you rotate. Just really let the breath into the body, in through the nose, out through the nose. Ujjayi breath. Imagine you're taking the breath in and out through the front of the throat. Nice. And then release. And then just, we'll try it this time with the knee a bit lower. So take the knee more hip height, and then just go over and notice how that slightly changes where you feel the stretch. You may find you feel that in the hip. So if you find an area that needs a stretch, just work into it. Draw your belly in and up. So make this an active pose, so you're actively moving the knee to the left while you actively take the shoulder to the right. Breathing in and out through the nose. Nice, and then release. Great, okay. So let's just get back into the center position, and we'll do that to the other side. So we're straightening the right leg, and we'll just first of all take that knee over wherever it comes without worrying too much at this point. You want to be able to rotate your left shoulder onto the floor. So if you let your knee go too much, you'll find that your shoulder's lifting off the floor. So then that tells you not to go so far. So we want to actively rotate into that left shoulder at the same time as we're letting the hips to knee go over to the right. Breathing. So Ujjayi breath. Draw your belly in and up. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, so now we're going to try bringing the knee closer into the body, higher up towards the chest, and then going. And you'll find that if you're stiff in the shoulders, you're going to find that you're having to work really much harder to keep the shoulder down. You might get into that upper back stretch. Breathing. In through the nose. Keep this straight leg long. You may find as you're doing the stretch, suddenly you'll feel it in the long leg, the straight leg. That's fine, just breathing. Use your Ujjayi breath, and you take the inhalation into any area where you feel tight, and you let the exhalation soften that area, reducing any holding. Lovely. And then just let your knee come more over your hip, and then do the same thing. And you'll notice that you might then feel the stretch more around the hip area. So we're taking that knee over, keeping that left shoulder there. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Lovely, and release. And then we'll just bring the knee back. And let's just do a little, do a floor stretch. Twiddling your toes and your hands. And let's now roll onto our tummies. And do the same stretch, but this time on our tummy, so we're stretching through the feet and we're stretching through the hands. So if you have your feet parallel and your legs parallel, if you want to have them together, you can, but you might find it easier just to have them slightly apart. And then stretch through your arms and then look up, see your fingers, and think about putting your forearms down onto the floor and have a wee look at what your elbows are doing. So you want your elbows in line with the shoulders. Now, looking at the floor, breathing. Push the front of your feet into the floor and push the forearms into the floor. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Lovely. Now, slide your elbows a little bit closer to your shoulders so that you find that your sternum now is rolling off the floor. So you're just sliding your elbows a bit closer, Kirsten, to your shoulders. Push down through your feet, push the front of your feet down onto the floor, and then also push the front of the thighs onto the floor. And then see if you can get a feeling of sliding your pubic bone down and forward. Breathing. So it's quite active though, you're not really doing much, but you're very active. You're pushing your thighs down into the floor. The tops of your feet you're pushing into the floor. Your pubic bone is down and sliding up. Okay, and then if that feels okay for you, we'll go a bit more. Take your elbows now underneath the shoulders. Hands push into the down, push your hands down. And you want a feeling of opening your chest, so broadening across the front of the chest. Now push down through your feet again, push down through the front of the thighs, now push down and slide forward, and your pubic bone slides forward. And if you can, press your hands into the floor, straightening your arms. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Now if that feels a bit sore for you, then just go back down. Roll your shoulders back and down, Kirsten. Open the chest. Breathing. Feel the front of the thighs pushing down and forward. And now if you've got your elbows, see if you can if you've got your elbows out to the side, see if you can rotate the elbows so that they start to point behind you. And then just relax for a moment. Yeah, if we do the setup correctly, then it prevents you from getting a sore back. Sometimes when people do these back arches, it impinges on their lower back. And if you set it up properly, then you won't get that. And also, with the lower back, if you do feel it impinging, then just go back down a level. So we're going up the level, grading this. So just stop at whatever level that you can still get an openness, but you're not getting any pinching. So you don't want to do this if your back's pinching. But if you set up properly, you should eliminate the pinching if you listen carefully to what I'm suggesting. Okay, so arms out again, and if you think about the front of your feet, you're going to push them into the floor. So you're already activating your legs, you're activating through your buttocks now. Press the front of the thighs down and into the floor. You feel that down and into the floor. So you're sliding your thighs down and then also forward.
And then your pubic bone slides down and forward. And then you can work your elbows towards you. If you can, have your elbows underneath the shoulders. So you're opening your chest, shoulders rolling back and down. And then if that feels okay, we can push up. Push through the hands. Keep the shoulders down. What's happened to the thighs? So front thighs pushing into the floor. And if you want to go more, walk your hands in. Now, your elbows probably go out to the side to begin with. Rotate your elbows back behind you. Victoria, see if you can rotate your elbows in, back behind you. Think about your front thighs pushing down and forward. Pubic bone is now moving up towards your navel. Shoulders rolling back and down. And then we'll roll back down again. So just have a little rest. You can let your head go to one side, and as you're relaxing, think about when you breathe in, just notice how your belly swells into the floor on that inhalation. And also see if you can get a feeling of the front of your feet, just relaxing and softening into the floor. So when you breathe in, your belly just swells into the floor. And when you breathe out, your belly just comes up away from the floor. So we're going to do that one last time. So take the arms out to the side, slide the elbows in. So you just stick to it with the level that suits you. If you find that for you to keep your elbows quite far away and you're just going to lift a tiny little bit, you can still get that pushing through your hands and get your elbows off the floor. So you're doing a very gentle back bend. If that's the level that suits your back, then you do that. Press the thighs into the floor and slide them forward. Press the pubic bone into the floor, slide it forward. If you find that that's okay, you can start to walk back with your hands. And those of you that are able and comfortable with that, come up. Now, your elbows initially are out to the side. You roll your elbows back behind you. Open your chest. Breathe in. See if you can roll your elbows so they're facing behind you, Victoria. And as you do that, open your chest, shoulders away from the ears. Pressing the hands into the floor. Breathing. And then gently rolling back down again. And then this time we'll rest the head, but let it look the other way. And then feeling as you breathe in how your belly swells into the floor, and as you breathe out, sinks down. Softening through the front of the feet. And then from there, we're going to move into the pose of the child in as much as that's possible for you to do. So we want to sit back on our heels and we want to bring the forehead down. Now, if that's not happening for you, then what you can do is put your bolster or your blocks between your heels and your bottom. And you can also bring your chair. You can have something to lean on, so you can rest in the pose of the child.
what you want to feel is you're letting your hips slide down, so you're broadening from the base of the lower back, sideways and also down. It may be that you can easily get your hips down, but you want to have something, a little bit of height to rest your head on. So just take your time, don't rush down into this. You can get a nice relaxation through the shoulders. Yeah, if you find it impossible to be on your knees, then you can turn around and just hug the knees to the chin. Or you can put your feet up, put your calves up onto the chair. So Kirsten, if you get your chair and put your calves up on your chair so that you're not having to hold your knees. So we're just thinking about softening through the front of the ribs. Let the ribs descend down onto the thighs. With every exhalation, let yourself descend a little bit more, and you may find then as you do that, you can find your head can go lower. And then if you're comfortable with that, you can take the arms to the side, which enables you to drop down a little bit more onto the front of your thighs, more heavily. And the more you can relax your thighs, let them sink down relax your ribs, let them sink down into your thighs. What I'm hoping that you can then feel is a softening at the base of the spine. Nice. And then bringing your hands forward, still in pose of the child, we're just going to thread our left arm through our right arm, and just see if you can get your left shoulder towards the floor, and then you can bring your right arm up. So press the back of the hand onto the floor. Lovely. And then do that to the other side. So bring that right arm, slide it through, thread it through the left arm, and then trying to bring the right shoulder down. Press the back of the hand into the floor, and then bring your left arm up. Nice, and then release. Okay. And then from there, we're going to have a little chair or something that you can put your legs up on, a wee low table or a low stool, and we're going to bring our calves onto that. Just let the knees roll out to the side, and you may find that you want something under your head, so you can put a little cushion or something. Now, how do you know if you want something under your head? Well, if you find that your chin sticks up into the ceiling and you're quite convex in the neck. So what you want to do is lengthen through the nape of the neck. And at that point, for some people, just having a little raise to put the head on helps that the neck to not be too rounded. Okay, and I'm just taking the arms out to the side, letting the knees fall away from each other, and see if you can get a feeling of the feet softening and just slightly the toes moving away from the heels. So we'll just tuck our shoulders under and bring our hands to the belly, and just notice as you breathe in how the belly swells into your hands, and as you exhale, how the belly then falls away from your hands. So we're doing our Ujjayi breath again. As we breathe in through the nose, we imagine we're taking the breath in through the front of the throat. And as we breathe out through the nose, we imagine we're taking the breath out through the front of the throat. Just find the right distance for you. You might want to shiggle your bottom in closer to the chair, or you may want to take it further away. And then we're going to bring our right ankle in front of the left knee, and just bring your left knee forward sufficiently that you're getting a nice little glute stretch going on here. Now, at the same time, you don't want to roll your bottom off the floor. So you want to have the base of the spine rotating down. So we're going to rotate the pelvis that way. So if you think about having a marble in your navel, you're just rotating that marble towards the pubic bone. And we're breathing. So just adjust the position for yourself so that you can really relax in the shoulders at the same time as you're feeling something going on here. You feel the stretch in the glute, but not so much that it's making your whole body tense up, but just enough that you can still soften and relax on your exhalation as you breathe, as you do your Ujjayi breath. And we'll change side now. So that's the left ankle in front of right knee. Just get the right position for yourself so that you're getting a nice little glute stretch, but on the left hand side, but not so much that it's causing your body to tense up. So we're going to keep our shoulders rolling back and down. Breathing. Think about a marble in the navel. You want to roll that marble towards the pubic bone. So your pelvis moves that way. You're not rolling the pelvis towards your navel, you're rolling it away. Ujjayi breath. So let's really soften into that left hip. Lovely. And then just to finish, we'll do a little bit of a relaxation. So if you want to, you can just bring your legs back onto the chair and just let the knees flop to the side. Tuck your shoulders under, palms facing up to the ceiling. Or if you prefer to have your legs straight, then just obviously stretch them out on the floor. And then thinking about the backs of the hands are on the floor, palms facing up. Just allow your fingers to curl, your toes to fall away from your heels. And breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And then just bringing your awareness to your body, lying on the floor, lying on your mat. We're going to get ready to just take a deep breath, move our fingers and toes, and then gradually stretch our arms and our legs. And we'll roll onto one side for a moment. And then when we're ready, we'll come up into sitting so that we can finish together. So just taking your time. Just feeling all the body settling back into sitting, relaxing your shoulders, crown of the head long. And as you breathe in, just think about bringing in fresh energy through the crown of the head, and then breathing out through the base of the spine. Just releasing anything you don't want, leaving behind anything you don't need. And then as you breathe in, think about bringing that breath up through the root, through the earth, just replenishing you. And then as you exhale, just give anything that you don't need to hold on to anymore, just give it up. Lovely, thank you.